I want to say you and Sophia have done an incredible job. This has been so organized, so many nice people. Your outfits, down to your outfits, everything is just meticulous. And the way you organized it to tell us, where to park, what to do, what time to come. You've done a great job.
Thank you. We try. Let's see. What inspired you to write this book?
Well, I have to start with years ago. Liz Kelly, my publicist, had an article written about me. She got me an article in Unique Homes magazine, and it kind of summed up they interviewed me, and when the interview came back with the title, it said "Accidentally with Purpose." So so many things that have happened. I'm always in motion, thus the title. However, so many things have happened to me accidentally with purpose. In the article of Unique Homes, we talked about how I kind of fell into charity and always loved to mentor and help people. That was then. So a year ago, March, I set out. Every year I like to conquer something new outside of my real estate business of 35 years. So I decided to take a course on doing a TED Talk. So I ordered the course, I just started getting into motion. I'm filling out, doing the work. I made the interview appointment with the guy right away, and I became frustrated. I said, how am I going to do a TED Talk? 15 minutes. I'm going to speak for 15 minutes. I can only speak from the heart. I cannot speak. I can't memorize. I'm not an actress. I could never memorize a speech. How is that going to be? What am I going to talk about? Is it going to be real estate? Is it going to be helping people? Is it going to be the empty nest? And so I started writing as I do, went to bed frustrated. I woke up the next morning, and before my husband, of course, like always, I woke up and I said, oh no, I've got to write another book. I have to find clarity. And so I continued writing and writing and writing. And that turned out to be a year in writing, and that's how it literally was born. Mindset in Motion was born because of, as I talk about in my book, when you're going one way, sometimes you have to go life takes you a different way. I also talk about what I call the pivot and adjust. Just like my son Chase here in the back, he's played lacrosse all his life. And my mind is like a typewriter, if anyone knows what a typewriter, if you're young, you probably don't know what a typewriter is. But my mind thinks in writing, and I'm always trying to learn something or phrase things to help people. So when I would watch him pivot and adjust on the lacrosse field, I said, that's just like in life and in business. That's how I can help to train my agents or whoever I'm coaching. We always have to pivot and adjust. So that's how a lot of things in my life have happened. I might be going one way, but it takes me a different way.
What kind of experience do you have with helping people? How does that help you become who you are today at this point in your life?
Sure. So some people will say, well, I wrote, one of my books was called The Art of Real Estate. And I remember I created a panel, and it was just real estate agents, and there wasn't going to be any monetary gain for me. It was just bringing people together to collaborate. I believe what you put out comes back. And it's not going out that way and coming back this way. It can come in any form, right? So I don't believe in, how many books did I sell today? I don't know. I'm here to meet people, and I've met so many incredible people, and there'll be some things that will happen because of this. So when I'm giving, I'm getting back. And when I was leaving this panel discussion, we had been there and I was tired, and we had been talking and we had been trying to help the other agents with their business. And this one agent said to me as I was leaving, he said, I don't understand. Why do you do this? What do you get from it? And I said, I just like to do it. It makes me feel good and it gives me energy. And it'll come back in some way. I don't know how. And he just kept asking and asking, and I can't remember who this person was, but I'm like, you just don't get it. I can't explain it.
Yeah, me too. That's exactly how I feel. Yeah. Can you share a moment, actually, when shifting a mindset truly changed an outcome for you? What was that moment for you?
I was going to talk about it later, but I'll talk about it now. So this is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I'm in real estate, so in my market in Northern California, in August every year for 35 years, the market is the same. And in August, last minute vacations before school starts, so our market slows down. every August, I'm like depressed. I'm like, am I going to ever have another client again? But the way my mind works is like, I got to snap out of it. I cannot keep doing this. So I went downstairs to our downstairs bedroom, and I had my laptop, and I'm like, what is this meditation? What is this? Yeah. I have to figure something out. I have to get myself through it. So I put on YouTube, and I started watching Dr. Joe Dispenza. I started trying to understand. I'm always moving, so it's very hard to get me to sit still. So I was watching, and how does anyone do that? Anyway, I will tell you the method that has now been refined over time. But the point is I got into motion to make a change. I didn't want to sit in my depression. I just had to figure it out. And that's what Mindset in Motion is all about, is just, there are tools out there for us. There are Facebook community group pages. There are events like this. You can go on Eventbrite and you can find a group. There's so many, there's coaches, all kinds of coaches and mentors and people. So what I did in my Mindset in Motion method that you learn in my book is it's based on 3 things. When I wake up in the morning, hydrate, meditate, vibrate. So and what I call using the lock-in method. Oh. So I start with my headphones and I lock in, and that gets me in. I'm in the zone. I'll start to hydrate, because when we sleep at night and we wake up, we're dehydrated. So I start with drinking a lot of water. I add magnesium to it. And then I'm locked in, and I've turned on my meditation on YouTube. So I'm listening. I'm not watching, I'm listening. So in the meditation portion is I'm affirmations, gratitude practice, mindfulness, and just being present. For me, I get up at 3:30 in the morning. I don't expect people to do that. So if your meditation is 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, just do that. For me, it goes for a lot longer, just because it really grounds me and makes me feel good and balanced and more productive in the day. And the last one is I have a vibration plate that I get in. I'm still locked in with my headset, and it's lymphatic drainage, and it gets your body moving, and it's great. I'm addicted to my vibration plate.
What practical steps can someone take today to start building resilience?
So I think it's a mindset, of course, and you have to push, and you have to activate, and so I think I'll tell you the 5 steps, because I think that'll help. So in the Mindset in Motion, activate purpose, power, and peak performance. It is for anyone who's seeking to achieve a personal goal, a business goal, go to college. It's for any age. Someone in a transition, going through a divorce, overcoming an addiction, trying to get into a health regimen. So there's 5 steps, and it's the 5-step framework. And it starts with having a goal, and you have to be very clear on that goal. Once you have clarity on that goal, the second step is to believe, and you really need to believe it, but you don't have to worry how you're going to get there. So many of my goals I achieved, I said it, but I wasn't worried about how I was going to get there. Right? And then the third step is to internalize. You have to identify with that goal and that belief, see yourself there. The fourth step is to share, but you have to share it with supportive people. Some goals are too big that you'll have naysayers that won't want you to achieve that goal. They'll second guess you. They'll even make fun of you. So what I have over there is my medal when I ran the LA Marathon. I could not share that with anyone because I was going to be 60 years old. I didn't work out. I did some soul cycle classes. I walked a little. I ran a little. So in February, I said, I'm going to run the LA Marathon. So I didn't tell anyone because people had thought I'd crazy, and no one would support me. They'd just say you're crazy. And they're like, oh, you can't do it. So a week before, I told my husband, you're going to have to come to LA with me because I'm running the LA Marathon and I have no idea what's going to happen. I have zero idea what could happen because I have no idea because I have not trained for this. My nickname is the Droid, so he didn't second guess. He came down. And so I went, as I was going to the starting line, I was on the bus with this young man, and he was telling me about everything he had done to train. And he was saying, I just ran over the San Mateo Bridge last week. And I'm like, oh, please don't ask me. Please don't ask me what I've done, because I don't even know what he'd do. He'd probably tell me, don't do it. So I remember this so well. So I got to the starting line, waiting, tons of people, and I still didn't know what was going to happen. But this is when you get into motion, and that is the resilience part. Don't second guess. Just visualize yourself over the finish line. Don't visualize yourself falling. Just, I'm going to do it. I'm going to cross the finish line. And so it's really a mindset. Clearly it wasn't anything to do with, I'm healthy, but I did not practice. So I wasn't training. So it's a resilience mindset is what it is. And it starts here. That's what got me over. And the crazy thing is, when I ran the LA Marathon, that was a year before I wrote this book. So I wanted to prove to myself I can do anything on mindset. It had nothing to do with this book, but now it's become the talk. And then the last step, sharing with supportive people. I always get stopped up there, because you can share some goals with people. I want to lose weight. I want to get in the fitness exercise. I want to get a new job. There's many things you can share with others. Some of them you can't. And then the last step, and this is the hardest step, is the activation. This is where you have to employ supportive people, mentors, spouses, friends, coaches. If an athlete might have 20 coaches, they're really superior in what they do, but they also have 20 people around them supporting them.
It's like running the LA Marathon, except on a bigger scale. That's what, 26 miles?
Yes.
26 miles, that's crazy.
If I didn't have that medal, I wouldn't have believed it.
You need to hang that on your neck, like all the time. I've done 5, I think, and I walked it.
You've done 5?
I've walked it.
Wow.
I haven't ran it. All right, so how do you keep moving forward when life or business feels stuck or overwhelming at times?
Well, it's interesting. So I do coach agents. We have 80 agents, and so people get stuck. Whatever your business, you have a service, product, or brand, we all have to move through it. We all have to make calls. You're making your daughters make calls. I think that is adorable. But we all have to activate, and that's kind of where I come in strong, and I'll coach that and try to encourage people to do that. So let's say when the real estate market, it's December, and businesses, whatever business, but real estate is quiet over December, and whatever your business is, that's when you really have to get into action. A lot of people at the holiday time will start to relax and go, okay, there's no business, it's a quiet time, I'm not going to do anything. No, this is where you get into action, into motion, and you start meeting with your clients, you start reaching out, maybe it's not as busy, so get that person-to-person contact, get in front of them, have coffee, go for a walk. But this is the time where you get all your systems in place. So this is a very busy time, but a lot of people make excuses and say, oh, it's a quiet time for my business.
Right. I think that also comes with the energy you have towards your work. Because if you really love it and you have that intention of moving forward, you will just get up and do what you're doing. And you're not dragging your feet. Right.
You have to do what you love, or it's going to be very hard, and it's going to be hard to be successful. Because my common thread through everything I do is helping people. In real estate, I'm helping people. In my books, I'm helping people, and when I'm mentoring, so there is that common thread.
Yes. So, what's one mindset shift you wish more women in business would embrace? I have to know that one.
Stop complaining.
I love that.
And the other one I have to say is, you can't tell me you're too busy.
Yeah.
Get organized, get some time management plan, put it on your calendar. But when someone says, especially to me, when I do 1,000 things, it's like, I can't even say anything. There's no response to that. But you're not too busy. If it's important to you, you'll do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like it's what you set for yourself. I feel like if you give yourself 2 steps, you'll go up those 2 steps. If it's 6, you'll still do the 6.
Well, that's how I ran the marathon. Yes. I said by 60, I wanted to do a half marathon, which was in July, but by March, I did a full marathon. Amazing. So you set goals, and don't beat yourself up if you don't do it. I just have a steel mind, but set it. And if you don't, it's okay.
Right.
But set goals for yourself, and if you can achieve them, great. I never expected to be #1 bestseller in the book. It wasn't something I put my heart into it, yes, but I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know how to achieve that. So you just have to set goals and work towards them, but don't beat yourself up if you don't achieve them. But try, right? We can't cross the finish line if you don't try.
But I feel like with all of that said, you're a very successful woman at this point, because this is somewhere people dream to be.
No.
And how do you deal with the personal and balance all of that?
It's hard. You have to be super organized, and you have to be organized, and you have to make sure you have to share with your family. This is my meditation time. This is my me time. I learned that word from my daughter. She lives in New York, and I'm a workaholic, of course. She's like, when am I going to have my me time? I'm like, what's that? She's like, I work, and then I do this, and I do this. I want time for me. And I didn't even know that was a thing. So you have to want whatever it is that you want, and you have to find time for yourself. You're a busy mom. You take care of the home. You work outside, and you do all that. You just have to find time. But you have to structure your day, whatever that is for you. I think I used to I never had a calendar before. Now I've actually hired someone to help me, and I'm a control freak, so that was really hard. And I also have a podcast, so I trusted her with that block of work to scheduling the appointments. So I was interviewing someone on my podcast. Let me tell you about organizing. And this woman said, I've traveled with Tony Robbins and Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I was in rooms with all kinds of powerful people. And she said, and I met President Clinton, and she said, and I asked him how he stayed so organized and so present when he was speaking to someone, because she felt he was so locked in. And he said to her, my secretary, or however, my assistant, keeps my calendar so I know where I'm supposed to be when. And this resonated with me so well, that I know where I'm supposed to be when. So when I have that appointment there or that appointment there, I am locked into that person. And that makes someone really good. They're in tune, they're right there, they're looking at you, and they're present. So I think that just speaks volumes. It's being organized and sharing with the people who are in your lives that you love. I need to do this for me, or I have to be here for this, or I am going to be. You have to voice what you want, what your need is, because it's for you, because you have to, if you're going to be good for someone else, you have to fill your heart as well.
I think being present is such an important thing right now, especially with AI taking over and digital phones and social media, and I feel like we're always just staring at our phones, But it's also important to know that there's seasons to all of this. Sometimes
Did you read the book?
No. I'm looking forward to it.
You're hitting a lot of topics here.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. Not in the last 2 months, because as soon as I started planning this, I was like, I can't hear people talk anymore.
Right.
I need my thoughts to myself. But I think that it's important to know when it's time to just step back and take time for yourself.